Hi, good morning, and welcome to Elevate Self-Esteem, where we help you become a better version of yourself. Today, we'll be talking about how to talk to anyone. For many people, talking to others feels harder than it should. You want to speak, but your mind goes blank. You want to connect, but anxiety steps in. You replay conversations in your head and wonder why it never comes out the way you imagined. And the truth is, this struggle has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with being boring, and it definitely doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Most people don't struggle with talking. They struggle with pressure. Pressure to sound smart, pressure to be interesting, pressure to say the right thing. When you put that pressure on yourself, your mind tightens. Your words feel forced, and silence suddenly feels louder than it really is. But here's something important to understand. People who seem confident in conversations are not thinking about how they sound. They're thinking about connection, not performance. And once you understand that, everything begins to shift. Because before you learn what to say, you first need to understand what actually makes conversations flow. And that starts with how you see yourself, which is exactly what we're moving into next. Self-esteem, presence, and removing fear. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to talk to others is focusing too much on themselves. How do I sound? Do I look awkward? What if they don't like me? These thoughts create tension, and tension kills natural conversation. The key to talking to anyone is presence. Presence means shifting your attention away from yourself and toward the person in front of you. When you're genuinely present, you listen better, you respond naturally, and people feel that energy. You don't need perfect words, you need real attention. Another important truth, you don't need to impress anyone to be respected. Most people aren't judging you the way you think they are. They're busy thinking about themselves, just like you are. Once you accept that, fear loses its grip. Confidence in conversation doesn't come from rehearsing lines. It comes from accepting that you don't need to be perfect to be accepted. But presence alone isn't enough. You also need simple, practical tools to keep conversations moving, especially when your mind goes blank, and that's what we'll talk about next. Practical conversation skills. Talking to anyone doesn't mean talking nonstop. It means knowing how to open, respond, and continue a conversation naturally. The easiest way to start is with observations, not questions. Instead of forcing something clever, simply notice what's already there. The environment, the moment, the situation. People respond better to genuine observations because they feel natural and effortless. Next, learn the power of curiosity. You don't need deep questions. You need real interest. When someone speaks, don't rush to reply. Pause, listen, then respond to what they actually said, not what you plan to say. That alone makes you stand out. Also, understand this. Silence is not failure. Short pauses are normal. They give conversations room to breathe. People who are comfortable with silence appear more confident than those who rush to fill every gap. But even with all these tools, the most important part of communication is still internal. How you treat yourself before and after conversations. And that's where mastery truly happens. Mindset, practice. To talk to anyone, you must first stop being harsh with yourself. Not every conversation will be smooth. Not every interaction will feel perfect, and that's okay. Conversation is a skill, and skills improve through repetition, not self-criticism. Every conversation you have is practice. Every awkward moment is feedback. Every silence is a lesson. Instead of replaying what went wrong, ask yourself, what did I learn? When you approach communication this way, confidence grows quietly, naturally, without force. Remember this, you don't need to be louder, you don't need to be funnier, you don't need to be someone else. You just need to be present, curious, and kind to yourself. That's how real connection is built. If you're having difficulty developing yourself mentally or emotionally, feel free to reach out to us in our direct messages. We'll be glad to help you. You don't need to talk like everyone else. You just need to talk as yourself, with confidence.